So it was like I got home in July and they got married in August.
Right.
So we moved James up there to the Bay, into their home, and then when they got married,
Right.
so it was like, it was fun.
Right.
So it's like, finally, we get to be chilling I get to chill with my
With the boys, yeah.
and then we get to go to the wedding. We're gonna have fun. Then all of them were like, dude, after the wedding, I'm like, I'm trying to hang out. I'm trying to mingle. Yeah. So it was like, we literally thrown into a wedding and then, dated. It was like, you get home from the mission. Like you said, I was a buck seven.
Oh yeah, yeah. You had the energy.
I leave on the mission. I go back to the 15th ward, right?
Right.
And then I come home to the 15th ward. But now they're like, we're in the singles ward.
We're in the singles world, like we're first.
But at the same time, I was like, man, half of these people, I know them, and they're
Right.
sister.
But let's talk about, like obviously during that time, I mean, you have a lot of grief. I mean, there's a lot of close, your brothers, your family that passed. But, I want to talk about Fanga because that's my boy, man. Like, rest in peace to him. I mean, obviously he was close in age with you, like, him passing and then I believe Spencer, and so.
I'm on that coveting, and then so we get home, and I'm dating, right? So I end up dating a girl. I won't say their names, but so I end up getting married. The next year, my ex-girlfriend passed away. That was rough because I'm like, dang, I'm married, but I'm like, I still feel connected to her. When she passed away, it was hard. It was a tough time.
Mm.
And then like just when we were like, okay, like these are good, because you're a newlywed. Now I'm like, dang, that's my companion.
Right.
And it's like, so
Right.
the good, the bad, and everything else. Bring that up is because that was another trial, right? She passes away in 2008, and then so that same year, I'm at work, and everybody, like a handful of us, get laid off, and I'm like, what's going on? But hey, how's it going? I had a great job, my work was great,
Right.
and then my wife's like, oh, how was your day? And I was like, oh, I don't know how to tell her. Yeah, I just got laid off with it.
Right.
Because this is during that housing crisis back in 2008. Everyone, like half of the team that I was working with, we all got let go today. And that happened in November, right, 2008. So I'm going through that time period. I'm trying to find a job. So I'm like, cool, we got money coming in. It's enough to take care of our family and our needs. December comes, and I'm like, we buy gifts. That December, my brother ends up going to the hospital.
Fine.
When he goes in, he ends up being in a coma. So he calls me, right? So,
Right.
and the movie that we're watching was a Will Smith movie called Seven Candles or Seven. The whole movie was him sacrificing his heart, and he was going to give it to his girlfriend. She had a heart failure,
Right.
and so I'm watching the movie. I'm bawling in the movie and then my brother calls me and he's like, "Hey, I love you." And I'm like, "What?" Like we don't ever say that.
Right.
We don't ever say we love you. My brother Fonz not dude. And he's like whispering, just want to tell you, like, I love you. And then that was my last conversation with me. I didn't know that he was calling everyone else, telling them that he loved them, that he cared about them.
Yeah. I got that call.
Not long after he ends up going in that coma. And for me, I'm there every day for 2 weeks.
Wow.
So going into the new year,
Right.
the new year at the hospital,
Mm.
he can't talk. So we get posters, fill up the whole room. We put up everything in there.
Wow. Yeah.
It was fasting for him. It was, they come there and we're just like, dude, nothing's happening. Like he's still the same. And so my dad and then my mom actually was like, hey, he's suffering.
Mm.
You should let him go. We need to, cut the cord or whatnot. And my dad was like, heck no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose time too. So I was like, Dad, like, we don't know.
We don't know what's there.
We got to say goodbye now. This is it. So he was in there for 2 weeks. And my mom was like, you know what, let's fast again. And then we're going to go to the temple. So mom and them ended up going to the temple. And I remember it was a Saturday. So they go to the temple Saturday morning.
Yeah.
We're at the hospital all day. Like we had the whole thing set up where
Right.
they're all doing it.
Right.
So my brother's up there, and my mom and them are like, "Hey, we're gonna go to the temple." So I go to the temple. They end up, they're praying for my brother, and I remember them coming to the hospital. It was just like relief because we had been there for like 2 days straight.
Right.
You could kind of feel like, man, this might be it. Everybody showered up, they're getting dressed.
Right.
I'm the last one to shower. I get out there, and they get the phone call. It's finally blue. We got our answer. My mom and my dad didn't have to make a decision. That was a tough decision for my dad. But I can see now that I'm older and now that I can understand a little bit more, it hurt. It's like, dang. Like, I remember Spencer calling me, so I was like, and like he was thinking like he was probably gonna die. He tells us this before finally goes these times for them. And I don't know how sick my brother is, but Fana ends up passing away in 2009. So like 2 years I'm
Damn.
and I'm like, my wife has seen me at my lowest. I keep telling my wife, like, she's just like still encouraging me, like, hey, just take your time. So I go through it every day. I got a job at LA at Long Beach Airport. I'm doing really well. And Spencer, this is fast forward to 2011. my brother's in the hospital, and I take him.
Right.
So with them, I'm there chilling with them every night after work. And my brother's like, man, I think he'll die. I read your patriarchal blessing. He's like, what you talking about? And he's like, nah, man, like, I feel like it's getting close.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm not ready for another brother to be gone. We're in the hospital. I remember it was early morning because my brother's going into surgery, and they end up finding a blood clot in his leg. And he's on his deathbed. So they're telling us, like, hey, you guys gotta come in and see your
Goodbye.
he's still awake. And we're just freaking bawling. And my brother's like, I had been talking to my brother about moving to Utah
Right.
and coming here because I wanted change up the scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everyone kind of knew us back home in Long Beach. And I was like, I just need a new change. And so my brother tells me, you should do it. You should go to Utah. Like, be the change that our family needs. And you just never know.
Yeah.
You never know what this can do for our family. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I go home and I'm like, upset, I'm crying about it, conduct this funeral. I'm sad, but I feel the prayers. I feel comfort at that moment. And I could really, because I was at peace. I was just like, hey, my brother died. Like, why am I crying more? And I could feel like I understood the plan of salvation a lot more at that time. So when he died, it was like, okay, now I'm going to help you and, bury my brother. And then we ended up moving to Utah, dude. And we come here, we stay with family.
Right.
And it was like the greatest blessing, right?
Right.
And we have no job. I used to read the scripture all the time. It talks about setting it out in your heart.
Right.
So I go and I'm praying. My wife's like, why don't you go pray about it? Yeah, let me go pray. This is after my brother died. And I'm like, Heavenly Father, like, give me a sign that I'm supposed to do this. And my phone goes off. Right? As one day, his song comes on with Fiji. Here I am, God use me. And I'm like, I hear it. And I hear it like, use me. And it's my brother Bishopberg. My brother Bishopberg is brother Bob Absick. He calls me. He's like, Rudy, I have about conversation myself. And I'm over here like, what?
Wow.
Well, I had never had a prayer answer that fast.
Right.
He's like, I had this strong feeling to call you.
Right.
And let you know that you should not feel bad about leaving. So as soon as I hear that, I'm just like, okay. I'm like, I'm doing this. I literally tell my wife, I'm like, I'm quitting my job. And she's like, yeah, we're doing what?
Oh, man.
And let's get a job. Fred Frost. And
Right.
Fred hooks her up with the interview. She has an interview, gets the job. She flies to Utah, gets the gig. And she ends up moving up here a week before I do. And then we get out of our apartment, we sell everything, give stuff away. And it was wild because everything just aligned.
Right.
Everything fell into place. So we stayed with the top of soil. So
Yeah.
shout out to the gang.
Shout out to the grand man.
We stayed with them for about a month and a half, 2 months. We found our own apartment. We moved in. I was just like, man, everything's falling into place. Like, I get to the job, and then this is another change, right? I'm like, oh, we can't afford to stay where we're. You don't make enough money.
Right.
I was like, hey, this guy reached out to me. He wants to meet you. And September, he's like, hey, I'd love to take you out with me to go knock doors.
Security security physical vivid, right?
Like, hey, come over. Let's go out and eat. I'm like, this guy is smart, man. So he pulls up in the Lakers jersey. And then he's like, yeah, man. They told me that that you're going to college and whatnot, and I think you should come and knock doors with me. So I'm like, ask what do I need to avoid? Stay married. In that time, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do sales. I'm like, okay. So we go the whole summer. We knock doors. We kill it. We
Right.
make good money, but in the summer with September, if you don't sell, they call it. We have a bagel meeting.
Right.
Bagel meeting is zero, right? So whoever doesn't sell, you gotta show up to this meeting early in the morning.
Right.
Practice your pitch. So they drill it into you. They role play. We're gonna role till you sell. And once you sell, you don't have to come to this meeting. So it was ingrained in me. So I'm in there, me and my boys are like, dude, we can't sell. And I started to start. So that momentum, right? Your first customer, then it just became second nature. And then all of us were selling. And so I learned a lot in that summer of like how to talk to people, how to communicate, how to use the same skills that I learned from the mission to sales, and then how to execute. Because now I learned how to budget, I learned how to do all that stuff from the mission, learn how to communicate, build that relationship of trust. But September, in that meeting that we had at Chili's, he pulls out his iPad and he slides it over and he shows me his paycheck. And I'm like, there ain't no way he made 6 figures selling whatever he sold in one summer.
Right.
Because he made what, close to $200,000 a summer.
Right.
And I was like, this is drug money. But since Tim was a stand-up guy,
Yeah.
like, come and do it. I'll teach you.
Right.
So I learned a lot. So I end up going. And then I get home and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this knowledge?
Right.
So I go back, get a sales job, and I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm like, man, this is harder. Because at least when I'm, face to
Face to face with somebody, you can. Yeah.
But now that I can't find that, I have to figure it out on the phone. So now I'm learning different techniques on the phone, and I'm using very similar things that I learned from September
On the teller, yeah.
I end up learning that process, and I end up doing pretty well.
Mhm.
If I get to a point where I'm like, yeah, I'm just kind of tired of getting up, so I quit, and I'm like, I'm gonna go back to school,
Right.
and then I go work end up working for a maintenance company
Right.
for an apartment complex. I had to paint these rooms, and I'm like, oh, guys, I got to paint the whole apartment. I got to paint this whole thing every day, and they have me using the pole and the roller. So I'm over here rolling everything and figuring it
How
out.
long does that last?
Because I was quitting jobs
Right.
very often. And so again, going back to that tough love, and now I had to prove it to my wife, like, nah, I can stick this out.
Right.
So I ended up being there for close to 2 years.
Right.
And while I was doing that, I met so many people at the apartment complex.
Sure. Yeah.
They worked for Progressive Leasing,
Mhm.
for all these great companies. And then one of them, she was like, hey, why don't you come and work with me? Like, like the money, you want to do that.
Right.
Truly, it's a lot easier.
Sure.
Come and do this. Like,
Yeah.
young. I know right now you're young, and
Yeah.
she tells me that, and I end up interviewing, and I get the job. So this is my first role. So I started learning how to be a BDR, and I'm doing account management, and then I'm selling new customers, and I'm learning how to sell
Right.
these sales rooms, and I'm like, I feel so out of place because I'm the only brown person in there.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, like being careful what I say, how I act, and then I was there, and I was there for a long time, and it's just like, man, like, you go through that maturation phase, and then it leads to another company, it leads to one of their competitors, and then 2017 hits. My sister calls me, my sister Luffy. She's like, hey, what are you doing right now? That's not doing good. If you don't know what hospice is, you going home to die.
Yeah.
That's what they were telling me, and I didn't know that. So I tell my friends, and my friends are like, dude, you need to go home like today.
Right.
So it was on a Thursday, and I was like, dude, I don't know how to get home. Like, I can't afford no ticket.
Sure.
I can barely afford where I live.
Right.
And they're like, dude, just go.
Right.
And so shout out to one of my boys, Alex. Alex Ucia, he hooked us up with a ticket, and I flew home. And I was able to get home and to be there with my dad. So I get there, and I'm with my pops, and I get to spend his last 3 days with him.
Wow.
I get there. It's a Friday night. I'm chilling with him. I replaced my brother, Llama. And Llama's been through it all.
Yeah.
He's with him at the hospital
All right.
until, if he passes away, I'm going to be here. So I get there. I'm at the hospital. We're having a good time. My dad, he had stomach cancer.
Right.
So my dad, he would have me pick him up. So I'd have to stand him up so he can breathe it was like every 4 or 5 hours.
Mm.
To get up, pick him up, and he'll cough, and then, all right, lay it back down.
Right.
So I'm helping him like go through that whole phase, and I'm helping him go to sleep.
Right. Sure.
He look at me and he's like, I'm not talking to you. And I'm like, who are you talking to?
Right.
And he's having this conversation, and he's talking. He goes through that whole phase. And then on the last day, it was Monday morning, my cousin comes, and she's like, hey, I brought some donuts for you. I'm like, them county donuts hit, dude. These are the best. She comes in, and she's like, hey, yeah, just here's some donuts for you. We eat the donuts. And he comes in.
Oh yeah, from Love You 15. Yeah.
So I'm in and out of sleep. I don't get good sleep because I'm sleeping on the
Couch. Yeah.
Fall asleep, and then I just remember waking up. I just remember getting up, and I run to his room. I can hear him calling my name. I'm like, you okay? He's like, pick me up. And he's like, son, look, one.
Right.
He says, look, one. And falls back flat. I lay him down on the bed, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? And my dad waited for me to come back to California so he could die.
So you can say, yeah.
So he said goodbyes to me, and then he passed away, man. My mom took it tough too because my mom had just had strong. And so I was like, I need to move. I was at this great job, great company.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't take it. I gotta move back to California. They're telling me like, hey man, stay there with your family. Because I ended up staying back home.
Right.
It's like, this company's called the SEMA. They gave me a whole month off.
Right.
And shout out to Aaron.
Right.
And ended up hooking me up he said, hey, just stay there, be with your family.
Right.
spend all the time that you need. So I ended up staying there after my dad died, and I was there for a month until we got all the funeral stuff because you got to wait for family.
Sure, yeah.
New Zealand, and we're all coming down to be with my dad because he was a high chief.
All right.
So then I got to go prep him, get his body ready, get his clothes on, and it was a very spiritual experience for me, man. Like, so now I'm just like, man, like I've had this sacred opportunity to help dress them for their funeral.
Right.
So the last time the anyone season, I want to do this. I get my dad ready after the funeral service. I tell my wife, I was like, you got to move back to California, and so we end up packing up our stuff, and we're back to Cali, dude. We go back to California. So it was a wild time, man. We end up moving back to California, and we end up like it's 2017, and I'm like, okay, we have money because I quit, and I had all this time saved up
Right.
for all my PTO, and they gave it all to me.
All right.
To California, found a job, and be here, and I'm gonna go to school and finish my schooling and go to work.
Right.
And be here with my mom. And then at this time we have kids now, right? I skipped over my kids, but that's a whole nother story. Because that's
For sure, yeah.
going to this part. We are now living in California. We're staying with my mom.
All right.
It's I'm like, dude, it's December, and I'm like, Mom, I got to go back. You can't afford it. Like, I can't afford to pay my car note, my this and that. My mom was like, go back to Utah.
Right.
Now she's like, oh, I'm more straight. She's feeling more comfortable. My kids know her. They love her. And I'm just like, man, I love you, Mom. Like,
Right.
I'm coming back. So we end up moving, and I moved back to Utah.
Right.
Get a job. At this point, I had to apply to like every job in California. The only job that I got was Costco.
Right.
But I was only there as a seasonal rep, so I got laid off just with everybody else.
Right.
And from there, I was like, I don't have no job. So I applied for jobs here. I got a job at a company called Work From. So I go and use my sales skills over there.
Right.
I enjoy it. Great company. And then my wife and family end up moving back to Utah in 2018.
Right.
So we're thinking, man, everything's great. Like we got our own apartment, living in the world, everything's fine. And then we get a call. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And it's my sister Nora. She's like, hey, your sister Doreen is not doing this. She just got a stroke. I'm like, what? I'm like, what's going on? So she's like, hey, you guys need to go to the hospital. Or she's going to the hospital. Just wanted to let you guys know. Because my sister, at this point, she was trying to move to Utah to come live with us.
Right.
So I told her, why don't you just come here? Like, get a new life. Who knows what could happen? You come.
Sure. Yeah.
But my sister ends up getting, she finds out she ends up going for a stroke, and then they end up finding cancer. So she ends up having cancer. So I'm like, dude, she goes through the whole phase of, chemotherapy.
Keep on that. Yeah.
And I'm like, my gosh, this is so tough for my sister.
Right.
My kids got to be around there. And I'm like, I'm thinking we're going there for my mom to help but it was also a blessing to be there with the rest of my siblings, right? Because at this point, my kids only know my wife's family.
Right.
So now they know my siblings, and my sister Irene, now she's sick. So we come back and visit. And then she unfortunately ends up passing away in 2019. So now we have 2009,
2009,
11, and then my dad in 2017.
and then 2019, and then your mom.
And then in 2022, my mom passes away, right? So my mom, well, here's the crazy part, right? So we go through that whole thing, and I'm like, man, like my mom she's rock solid. She's like, I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
And then, so we're thinking everything's cool, right?
Right.
So they're fine at home. My sister, Nora, and them, they all have their job. And then Luffy ends up having a stroke. And I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
So she's at least walking.
Right.
Can't walk. She's not as mobile. She's stuck in a wheelchair. So now it's like, dang, now they got to both be working. Now she can't work.
Right.
She needs help. So they're like, they're calling for my sister Tassi, because my sister Tassi lives with me. So she ends up moving back to
your mom's in them. Yep.
Luffy had a stroke. And so I'm like, okay, and my wife and I were like, dang, it's tough. So now it's just us. We're living over here.
Right.
And we're doing fine. COVID comes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's COVID. Everyone's scared. I just got a new job, and all those struggles of like starting a new job and then having to work from home, because that's a new muscle that I have to now learn. And so while we're there, while I'm working from home and it's COVID, we're visiting my mom more often because now I'm working from home. There's a little bit more flexibility.
Right.
I can just take my calls from California, work the internet. So it's great. Everyone's doing good. And then we're just about to buy a home, right? And my sister calls me. My sister Nora calls me. She's like, bro, I got cancer. I'm like, are you kidding me? And she says, I have breast cancer. And I'm like, how many more people?
Wow.
I'm like, we're literally about to close on our house.
Right.
And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I tell my wife, I was like, I don't even want to buy this house because everybody gonna die.
Right.
I need to take care of whoever's left.
Right.
And my wife's like, nope, we're gonna keep the house. We're gonna buy it.
Right.
We need to buy it because if anything, if we need to sell it, we'll collect that money and
Right.
now we can leverage it. And I'm like, okay. So my we end up celebrating Christmas and go home. Everyone shaves their hair off. Right? And my sister's like, she's tired. She's like, I'm going to chemotherapy. I'm still working my full-time job. She tells my mom, hey, we need to move to Utah now.
Right.
Because now we need and I need to find an easier job, something easier for me to do.
Right.
So knowing that my start finding an idea, my mom said, so 2021, and I'm like, Mom, like
Come to Utah, yeah.
my kids, your grandkids, they need you.
Right.
So 2022 comes around and we end up selling the house.
The one in Long Beach.
It's no longer Long Beach anymore. And we sell the house. My mom and them buy a home. And they pretty much put all the money that they had to the home that I told them to live. Just spend the money on that. I don't need nothing.
All right.
I got my house. Let's take care of any funeral expenses for everyone. And then the rest of that money needs to go to paying, putting it down on the house.
Right.
You guys need to pay for it. And so it ends up becoming a great blessing. So then my sister ends up moving here to Utah and my brother Lama, and they all get a job at the airlines.
Wow.
So they get a job working I'm not gonna say the airlines, but they end up getting a job for the airlines. They go there, and my mom ends up falling. It's not because no one was there, but my mom was so excited that one of her friends is going to come visit her that she falls off the chair. She's like trying to show off and says, like, but mom can't walk.
Right.
She literally has no movement. And so she falls off, breaks her feet. And that's what ended up taking her life.
Right.
So she ends up passing away in October of 2022. So when she dies, that just was like when my dad died, it was kind of like my dad had told me when the father died, he's like, son, bury me.
Right.
Please, I don't want to bury, or after Spencer's funeral, he's like, please, I don't want to bury anyone else.
Right.
Like, please bury me. So when my dad died, it was kind of like a passing of the torch almost. Like,
Right.
thank you, son, for doing what I had.
Right.
And that was just like, okay, I need to live for everybody else. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
So I told him, I was like, I'm going to do my best to survive. So now that my mom is passing away, we kind of know that she's getting close to the end. We're at her house and kids are there. Everybody kind of knows. And my mom ends up passing away, and it was wild because I had, I was at this company, and I was doing pretty good. But that year, like once that happened in October, I was just like, I hope I have a job still. Because this is tough. My company was pretty cool because the year before I ended up hitting President's Club, right? So they're like, he's a performer, he can do well. So I'm like, man, I felt like my dad had helped me at that time, sister. So I'm like, dude, it's October and I'm at 50% of my number. Everybody at that time, because this is like the bell curve went up where in 2020, everyone was killing it. 2021, everyone's doing well. Everyone is not buying nothing. It's kind of everyone's shifting from being at home, and now they're going back to the office type of deal. So no one was selling at that time. I was selling.
Right.
Nothing else stopped me, man. So I ended up getting my mojo back. I'm dealing with my mom's loss, and my mom helped me.
Right.
Help me to get this, to close these deals. I need to find something so I can take my wife to this President's Club and have a good time. And so I'm over here like, dude, I had dealt with all this loss. Now my mom. Let me get locked in. And bro, I ended up closing the largest deal at the time for my market.
Right.
I kill it. Did it. I closed this deal and it was such a
wow. Yeah.
And I hit my number. And what nobody else was hitting the number. And it became one of the top performers for the company. And got the awards for it, right? And so I'm thinking, great. I'm going into 2023, everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Killing it. We doing well. I'm going on this President's Cup. We're going to Mexico. And then the worst thing ends up happening. They let me go.
Wow.
So they end up letting me go at this job.
Wow.
I'm a President's Club winner. I'm like, how y'all going to do that?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
again, now I'm like, dang, I was in such a high to straight low. So now I'm questioning everything. I'm like going to church. I'm still doing my thing at church. I'm helping the young men, helping the young women, helping my wife, my kids,
Right.
and I'm just like surviving. Because right now at this time, I'm like, I don't want to go to work. I'm like, this is
You're kind of done at that moment, yeah. Well, I want to tap into that because, like, I mean, everybody goes through those moments in life, and that was one of those. That was it because losing your mom, which is very hard. I mean, like, she was the anchor of your family. So, but losing and then being on asking for that guidance and actually hitting your goals, and then 2023 comes in and that thing just drops and then they let you go. I mean, you got to understand, for me, from the outside perspective, man, I want to scream for you. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause it's like looking at it and hearing it and just be like, what? Like, he just went through all of this family grief, like in your whole life, right? Like, it's not just your family grief. You went through your marriage, your kids. We were going to talk about that in just a little bit, but you went through all those things, right? Those challenges and so many ups and downs, and then you get to that point where you feel like, man, my mom helped me out in this moment. Right. Like, like nobody can beat me at this moment. Like, I feel like I can provide for my family. My kids are going to be set. I'm doing my thing in church. And then bam. Now tell me, at that moment when you felt at your lowest point, your conversation with God, what was that?
That's probably my most deepest reflection in my life, is because I was like, dude, what have I what did I do wrong?
Right.
Did I do something wrong? Did I offend somebody?
Right.
Is it me? So I kept asking that. I was like, what did I do? It reminded me of the Savior. When the Savior walks into that room and he's talking to the 12 and he says, one of you guys are going to betray me. And they all look at each other and say, is it me?
Is it I? Yeah.
So it felt like that. When he knew dang well it was Judas. You know what I mean? He knew dang well who it was. But he didn't blame him. He didn't snitch. He knew he knew and he said it. And they all felt that reflection. And that at that point, when I got let go, I was just like, what am I gonna do?
Wow.
How can I provide? How
Right.
can I get a job again? Like, what am I gonna what's the next steps for me right now?
Right.
And so you go to your friends, right? Like I was just
Mhm.
talking, my friend is talking to my bishop, and I don't even think my bishop understood like the severity of our situation,
Right.
because I wasn't asking him for money. I was just like, man,
I just need some guidance.
and so I was just like, I don't want to ask for help until I absolutely need it.
They didn't tell.
Dealt with my mom. Like during that time, I had a new bishop break, right? So it was kind of tough, man. Like that was another thing that kind of that sent me down a spiral, because of that time period when my mom died. We got a new bishop break. None of them knew me,
Mm.
right? And so there was no compassionate service done. So at that time period, I was like struggling.
And so they never came to visit. Wow. That's tough, man.
I'm just struggling along.
Right.
No compassionate service. And at this time, I've been serving people throughout that whole time period.
Right.
And we were givers, like we were making money. And I was like, man, felt good and
All right.
giving back to the Lord, paying our tithing. But not this time. I'm like, man, I need help. Who's gonna help me?
Sure.
I can't call my brother Butch.
Right.
I can't call my brother Spencer,
Right.
who I can always count on.
Right.
I can't call, and then Lama's at home, watching and helping out at the house. My sister got cancer.
You can't call no one. Yeah.
I really felt like this was my lowest of lows,
Wow.
because we had no money. We were living off credit cards. And I was just like, Heavenly Father, please, like, help me out.
All right.
My help light was burning, because I feel like I'm bringing, at that time period, I
Right.
felt like I was bringing everybody down.
Wow.
And so I was like, I know I had to change something. And then a little miracle happened. The miracle that ended up coming my way was a friend of mine hooked me up with an interview.
Right.
So I just need an interview for a job.
Right.
Even though I don't need to go to work, I'm enjoying unemployment. I need to get something. I need to get a win. So I go and I practice, I role play, I'm doing all these things about interviewing. Then I land a job and I'm like, cool, I feel like I'm a part of a team now.
Right.
I'm being heard. I get this job and bro, it's the worst job. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not it.
Wow.
What's going on?
So how long were you there?
I wasn't there that long.
Okay.
So I was like, I spent the next couple months just helping around, helping the kids out, taking them to school.
All right.
And then a miracle happened where a lady reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, "Hey, we're looking to hire you. You fit the mold."
Profile, yeah.
I'm like, "Yes, sir, I do." I go through the interview process, and then they tell me, "Hey, we really want you to come and take this job."
Right.
They tell me how much I'm gonna make. I'm like, "Cool. This is double what that last job.
Yeah.
This is perfect setup. This is great."
Right.
And then they're like, "It's all the way installed." Like, and I'm like, "Oh, that's far."
Yeah.
I'm like, "It's all right. Like, I gotta
You gotta get something in. Yeah, yeah.
just take it." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna do this."
Right.
So now I'm like shifting because now my job starts at 7:30, so I have to wake up at
5,
you know,
4. Yeah.
to get ready, prepare myself, and then drive.
Right.
That drive that hour to work. And so I had a lot of self reflection time during that period. But the hugest blessing, right? So I ended up getting let go from the Southern Company,
Right.
and I don't go on the President's Club. I don't get to go to Mexico. They take that away from me, right? That's the most messed up part. That's not even the most messed up part. The most messed up part is that I didn't even go on this trip. But guess what they did?
What?
When I went to go file my taxes, they charged me for the trip. So I ended up charging me 15 grand.
For the trip that you won? Okay, how's that happen? Like, so anyways, yeah. So they do that.
When I filed my taxes, because I filed it a year later.
Right.
And I'm like, what? What in the world? Why?
What?
So I'm like, whatever. At that moment, I was like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
so I get this job, and guess what? Guess what happens? They end up having this kickoff in Mexico. So I'm like, wait, what's going on?
So you go to Mexico.
So they took me to Mexico to travel, and it was the hugest blessing.
All right.
And I'm like, I get to go to Mexico. So I ended up, the Lord, again, you're going to go through your trials and your tribulations.
Right.
And I felt like I was at a real low part in my life.
All right.
And then here the Lord was working on the other side. He was finding a way for me to win. So that's why I always look at my life, like no matter all the losses that I've had, whether, your family members or whatnot, or loss of a job,
Right.
there's always a reason.
As always. Yeah.
One thing I was taught us, he's like, hey, there's always a reason why it's happening.
Right.
And you're never going to understand when it's happening.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. So before we land our plane, I want to talk about like what's going on right now, like your passion and things that, I mean, you sent me some music and I thought, man, this can be his thing, right? So, I mean, let's talk about that before we end it. Cause I want to talk, I want to end it with your kids and I want them to hear the story of that. So let's talk about what you're passionate about right now and what you're doing right now. And obviously you're in the bishopric.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, let's talk.
You're watching. No judgments.
No judgment. No, no, no. I'm pretty sure everyone, the nuances of a suit and tie and, right, clean shaves, but the nuances, I feel like God has his ways, right? Like in every dispensation and every time, like especially with the garments and stuff like that. Like I'm actually wearing one, the cuddles. I love it. I mean, like, and so for me, I feel like God hears our prayers, right? So let's talk about your passions, man. Like what's going on right now? Like what you're into right now, and AI is killing the game right now, right?
So I took a 30-day fast.
Okay.
For Easter.
The social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard some people talking about, I'm gonna for Lent, they were gonna, not do this for 40 days or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go off of social.
You need to do that. Yeah. Awesome.
You're such a doom scroller. And I'm like, everything that she said, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
So I ended up going through this time period. And I was just like, what am I gonna do with my time?
All right.
So I take a deep dive in my scriptures. I'm reading it. And then I watched this video. I remember seeing this video of my friend sharing a song that he created with this app.
Right.
And so I'm like, bro, this is amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Because back in the day, I love writing poems.
Right.
Because we back in the day when I was singing in high school, we was on TV.
Right.
We were traveling. I love that stuff.
Right.
I write songs all the time. And so when that happened, I was just like, I'm gonna use this as an outlet.
Right.
So I wrote all these songs and I just started writing.
Right.
I wrote songs about my childhood.
Right.
My sister recently just told me that we were living in Section 8. And I was like, what? You know what I mean? Like, we grew up in Section 8 and I didn't even realize.
Right.
Because my mom and dad protected us.
Right. From that.
Yeah, we lived in that, and I'm like, what?
Well, I mean, that was Park Village too. I grew up in there. I mean, like Section 8. I mean, like, yeah,
So now I just started my passion has been writing songs,
I love it.
and just making more music.
Yeah.
Because now I feel like because I can just go on there and I can write my lyrics.
Right.
Because the app is called Suno.
Suno, yeah.
You can go on there, you can pretty much write your song out, and then you can come up with a beat and
Right.
tell, hey, this is the type of beat I'm looking for, the type of style, and they will literally spit it out. Now, not all the time is it going to come out.
Is it going to come out 100%? Yeah.
But it's
Man, dude, you sent me, I think, the first one, and I played it. And then Mary hears it. She's in the kitchen, she's cooking, and she hears it, and she goes, "Who wrote that?" And I said, "This is Rudy." She starts tearing up. She's like, "Oh my gosh, that's his passion." And I said, "I've always known that. Like we all, growing up, we all knew you sing, like and you wrote music and stuff like that. And so it's so good to hear that you're going back to that."
Yeah, they say, "Oh, do your dream," and one day
Yeah.
and you have kids, and
Yeah.
that just goes in.
It just goes back around, yeah.
Hides. And then with this app, I feel like with AI, it allowed me to be able to just start
doing those, yeah.
Write down your
Thoughts, yeah.
So new music is cursing on it. Why don't we make our own music?
Nice.
So now they have their own songs.
Wow.
So each of them have multiple songs now.
Yeah.
So when we're in the car,
Right.
we're listening to our music that we wrote. My son still doesn't get it sometimes because the songs that I write about,
Right.
because there are so many different voices, he's like, he gets lost in the track and he's listening to it. He loves the beat.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't realize I'm talking about that.
Right.
And so I've been writing a lot of my first songs have been about my wife, about who she is.
Yeah.
Is the person.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Is the person that you married.
It's the person you married. Yep.
And then if you marry someone well, they can love you
Unconditionally. Yep.
Yes.
Oh man. They can like.
Yeah.
Oh man. Dude, my wife seen me when I was ugly. So I was like, I used to be this big boy, man. So, but man, to that point, Suno, like my daughter, like after hearing, that song, my daughter's like, I want to make my own song, Dad. And I'm like, and to me, and she's in theater and she's doing Sound of Music next week. And so kudos to you, bro. Cause when you sent that to me, I play it every time. Like when I'm in the house, I do. I play it because I'm like, to me, like it's a part of. I know that person, and I can hear the lyrics. Man, I hope you guys are able to go to Suno and follow your boy, man. Follow your guy, Rudy, man. Like,
and like when you're feeling down,
right,
one of the best things to do right now for me has been
writing it now.
So I got back to doing that. Like when we're on a mission and you're feeling upset about
Right,
you have something special happening, then you start writing about it.
right.
So now I look at it as an opportunity to write about a song.
Okay.
We're in a moment. When we have a moment, share it.
Right.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's write it out.
I love it.
And so now I've been able to express. And so like, dude, I got over 100 songs on there.
Wow.
And then my kids got songs on there as well. Now, not all 100 are bangers. Not all
Right.
are great, but you can create so much.
Yeah.
I think right now.
Well, the music industry has shifted, right? It's shifted so much to where now you don't need to go and get a record deal. Like you can go private and you can actually create your own through AI, right? And so for me, I think this is a special time for you. Like I see it, you know what I mean? Like and when you sent that to me, I kind of knew already, like what that was. You had to find it. It took you, like for me, it's like it took me a while to get to, because I always knew I was an entrepreneur. I just didn't know when I was going to be an entrepreneur, right? And so for you, I look at this like this opportunity as, man, I've always known this guy to have such a great voice. People needed to hear that. But like now you're dialing it in through the AI system, which now it's like, man, this can grow to something big and it's your lane, right?
Like when I do content now,
Right.
if I share just a story, it's gonna have my son.
It's gonna have your. That's awesome.
You get demonetized,
right?
These music that you don't know.
Yeah.
It's like if someone had my song on theirs,
right,
and they're doing something, that gives me more money.
Yeah.
But now it's not like that. Now you got to pay for all these subscriptions. You don't own the music. So I feel like right now, but when you can create your own music and you can write your own songs and you can be sharing your
Sharing your life experiences, yeah.
that goes with what you're talking about.
Right.
And like leverage it. So if you need a song,
If you guys need a song, hit up Rudy, man. You can go follow him on his page. But let's land it. Let's land it with your kids, like your beautiful kids, man. Like it's a joy to see them grow. Like I remember when they were just kids, man. Like like small kids. But let's talk about that, and then we'll land it there.
when we got here in 2011, we were going to Atonement Ward.
Right.
And this is my favorite ward. It's Midvale 14, and it's in the city of Midvale. We go to this ward, and I see a bunch of old friends that we have from back home. When we were there, we're at church, and I'm like, there's some Caucasian kids here.
Oh yeah. Right.
Like, how do you know them? They're like, oh, they're foster kids.
Wow.
I'm a foster kid, like.
That's a good movie, man. That's a good movie.
Like the movie Andy. I'm
Yeah.
interesting, but if I have kids come, I'm gonna want to adopt them.
Right.
So that seed gets planted in 2011. And start going through that, right?
Right.
And then eventually 2014 comes around, and my wife's like, "What do you want to do? Do you want to try this?"
Right.
And I tell my wife, just go ahead and do it. Like, this is something that you really want. Like, just put it out.
Her passion, yeah.
So she goes and she sends out the paperwork. She submits it. We forget about it. Months go by, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And she gets a call, and she's like, "Hey, we got a family."
Right.
And I'm like, we have some kids. And I'm like, what do you mean? My wife's like, we have two foster kids. And I'm like, are they boys?
Right.
So I'm thinking, man, that'd be cool. Like, that'd be like being my brother.
Right.
I'm like, man, that'd be awesome. And she's like, yeah, they are boys. And that's where my kids come from.
Right.
And so we ended up meeting them, and I fall in love with them. I'm like, dude.
These are the ones, yeah. Right.
This is where I say, like, God is in the details. Like, this is in 2014.
Right.
We were going through our ups and downs in our marriage.
Right.
And my father-in-law passes away. I haven't talked about him, but my father-in-law passes away, and he, the week that he passed away, he's Tongan, and Tongans, they don't like to touch their head.
Right.
But he asked me before he leaves on this trip to Vegas. He asked me, he says, "Son, can you cut my hair?" I dabble with, I'm cutting his hair up, as good as I can.
Right.
And he's like, "Dang, I look good. I look like the $30, And he ends up leaving, but he meets our kids.
Right.
So we're like going through the whole foster care stuff, and he meets them before we adopt them, and we're just going through this process. So I was grateful that my kids were able to meet him.
Yeah. Right.
And then we're like, we're gonna do this. I told him,
Right.
heck yeah, let's do it. So Christmas, I'm like, okay, we know we're gonna adopt them.
Right.
Next year in 2015, we're waiting a year. So we're like at 6-month point, and I'm like, all right, cool. I cannot wait to.
Right.
These kids are ours. My wife is like, I asked her, "What do you want for Christmas?" And my wife's like, "I want a baby girl." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, we're married for 7 years now.
Right.
We have 2 kids over here.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
Right.
What you over here asking for something?
Right.
Let's be grateful." For me, I'm like, let's be grateful. My wife's like, no, like I want a baby girl.
Right.
You got your 2 boys. Why can't I ask?
Sure.
And I'm like, okay. So we start trying. We're trying we're trying to have a baby.
Right.
See a doctor. We do all those things. January comes. I'm like, pregnant? It's like, nope. February comes.
No.
And I'm like, love, like this is stressful.
Right.
March comes.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, we're visiting a family. We're doing ministering. We're having FHE. It's a fun night. We're having a good time.
Right.
And then my wife gets a call, and she's like, hey, their mom just had a baby.
The boys. Okay.
We don't know what the sex is yet.
Right.
She just had a baby. She's somewhere. We don't know what hospital. They don't have no information. So ends up going, nothing happens. And I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean?
Right.
The day comes, they call us again. My wife's at work, and she calls me crying. I can hear her crying on the phone. And she's like, hey, it's like, guess what? And I'm like, what happened? Is everything okay? So like, please don't tell me someone died.
Mm.
And she's like, well, no, it's great news. Like, our girl's here. And I'm like, what? She's like, our girl's here. She's at the hospital.
Right.
So I'm like, what's going on?
Wow.
So then I remember the conversation that we had, our family meeting.
Mm.
And she's like, yeah, like their mom just had our baby girl.
Right.
So we go to the hospital and we see her, like, we have nothing. We don't have no car seat, right?
Mm.
We have we didn't have a baby shower because now we were adopting 2 boys.
Right.
all of our money's going to that.
Right.
All our necessities.
Sure.
And then our friends, we had some great friends, man. They came out clutch. Like
Right.
Gina, we had Stan and
Ruta, those guys, yeah. Baby shower. Yeah.
And they brought all these gifts. It was a surprise for us. We get there, they throw a surprise baby shower, and they give us everything that we need.
Right.
The wipes,
Car seat. Yeah.
you know, so we get all these things, and I'm just going, you know, I'm full of joy. I'm like, dang, thank you guys so much.
Right.
This is such a blessing for us.
Right.
So that happens, and we're just like, because we asked the mom, like, hey, are you gonna come back and get the kids? Like,
Right.
you know, we don't want this to come back and you know, ask for money or something.
Sure. Yeah.
We end up doing it the legal way. We asked her to sign over the rights, and we end up getting the rights for all three of the kids.
Wow.
And then, so it comes back full up to this point. It's
right.
Right. I lose three brothers, right?
Right.
2011, and now in 2015, now we're gonna have three kids, and I feel like this is another blessing that is looking at us and saying, "Hey, I'm gonna send you three angels,"
and they're all siblings. That's unheard of. Yeah.
And here we are. We're just like excited,
right?
And I'm just like, "Thank you."
Right.
You gave us what we've been asking for,
right?
And it wasn't the way that we were thinking it was going to come.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
And so foster care has been great, and so I always tell families, if you don't have kids, do it.
Do it. Go and yeah. There's so many kids out there that are needing. Yeah. Man.
So for us, we were able to adopt all three, and now they're getting closer and closer to graduating.
High school now, and your boy's going to be a junior next year, right? Your oldest one, and then is your other boy playing ball too, or? Yeah. Oh man, he seems like a good kid, man. No, I mean, yeah, I don't want that. Right. Well, if he ever needs anything, he can always give me a call. So, but man, I love your story, Rudy, and it's the reason why I wanted to bring you on the platform, you know, like to share your journey, share your story, the ups and the downs. And there's a lot of ups and downs in your journey, man. And there's plenty more. I know you have a lot to share, but we'll land it there. But man, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. Like I've had a lot of fun today, man. So shout out to Rudy, man, Fuamatu for coming on the show. Once again, this is Thomas with Roots in the City podcast, where real stories, real struggles, and real growth happens here. Thank you for tuning in.